Challenges and benefits part two. Challenges for the teacher can be significant and will require some adjustments in order to switch to a student-centered classroom. The first adjustment that's going to have to be made is from a delivery of information to a coach of learning behaviors. How can you encourage a student to lean into a productive struggle on their own? And it is definitely a difficult adjustment to make, but when students begin to take agency for their own learning, it is a significant step. Definitely buy-in. Buy-in is good. This is going to be a change. And if the more a student is allowed autonomy, the more it's a student self-paced, constructivist situation, you're going to have some students that struggle with that. That's going to cause for buy-in issues from students, parents suggesting that I just teach their kid. Um, when they say teach, they mean in the old-fashioned way. Fellow faculty have sometimes had some issues. We've had some communication, I think, some gray noise discussion in the background between fellow faculty and parents about how Mr. Mugen chooses to teach his class. And I've had a faculty member say, man, I wish I just showed my kids YouTube videos all day. Um, there's some lack of buy-in from my fellow faculty. Co-teachers, special ed co-teachers, associates, if people aren't uh, fully believing in how we're approaching this blended learning, it can cause for some significant issues. Definitely preparation changes. Uh, I haven't had to photocopy papers for some time. Okay. Well, that's a difference in how I choose to teach. And it's also a difference in the kind of time that I have. I have more time for maintenance of a website, more time for design improvement. And that's, that's significant because this type of teaching is going to require that. Okay. In order for online learning to be effective, a unit has to be ready to roll out. It's going to be difficult for a rookie teacher to do this if they're just trying to survive and keep their head above water unless there's something already for them to roll out. Okay. I have had some interesting challenges with making sure my students have engaging activities in terms of not online activities, but as I'm gaining time in class, how am I using that time effectively? Sometimes I'm getting done with a unit that in the traditional fashion had been taking 2 or 3 weeks. My students on the self-paced situation are getting done with the information portion of it in a matter of 5 to 7 days. So I've got time. It gives me a requirement, a challenge to be creative and to use that extra time for engaging learning activities. Tech, device issues, Wi-Fi connectivity, blocked or broken links. Um, Certainly, if I've got some engaging materials that I'm using and that URL is changed by whoever owns that information or material, uh, certainly that's going to cause for some issues. Maintenance is always going to be a regular running challenge. But I have had some issues with students purposefully coming to class without a Chromebook charged. Uh, I've had one instance where a student purposefully broke their Chromebook so they wouldn't have to do my work. Benefits for my special ed co-teachers. The special ed co-teacher is now another valued teacher in the room, another coach of learning behavior. Okay, not just a learner, observer, not just a lecturer, note taker, but someone that's actually a partner. Okay, online access to the materials, it allows them to be another guide in the room, allows them to do that without being the content expert. They're a student expert, they're a young person expert, and so they can, hey, we're going to look for this next answer together. And even though they can't necessarily explain all the ins and outs of photosynthesis and cellular respiration, differentiation is definitely an expectation. So I can have my co-teacher bring me resources that are going to be best for certain students, and I can get those resources to the students via the web. Some quotes from my recent co-teachers, and I have co-taught with a lot of different people in the last several years. After having co-taught with a number of people, I went to my principal and said, "Hey, let's isolate this and get me teaching with one individual so we can develop a relationship and grow what we're doing." Now, this is Deb Wadding and I have taught together for a little over 10 years now. Hey, give me Deb. She knows what I'm doing. I know what she's doing, and we work well together. Let me have Deb. And the principal's answer was, what you're doing, the blended learning that you're doing, allows you to work well with anybody that comes into your classroom. And so we're we're comfortable putting anybody with you. We know it's going to be a great experience. Blended learning benefits for parents. They have access to information, schedule, details, and just like co-teachers, it allows them to be a guide even though they're not a content expert. Certainly, I have found a level of respect from parents when they see what I've produced, when they see what I'm offering their kids. They appreciate it. There's absolutely no doubt. Hey, thanks for the opportunity to contribute. If there's anything I can do to help you guys get on the road to blended learning, just let me know, and I would be glad to help. Okay. Thank you guys so much, and I wish you all the best with your journey, and certainly look forward to hearing from you in the future if you need any kind of assistance.